Live martial arts training class. You're going to learn bow staff. This is bow staff training at home. Do this wherever you are. This is a simple self-defense weapon. Learning how to defend yourself with a stick of any size is always a great idea. Whether you are a common sense prepper, you're somebody who wants to always be prepared. Prepare or panic is what I say. Grab yourself a staff. This is the best, fastest, easiest martial arts weapon to learn. It's just a long stick. The long martial arts staff, also known as the bow staff, is a simple self-defense weapon. And this is bow staff training at home. I'm doing this turning of the hand. The hand stays closed. It's just in front of my body. This is to get blood into the joints. I want you to stay safe from injury during this workout. Hello, it's good to see you, Richard. Welcome. Please give me a thumbs up if you can. That helps to grow this channel. Turn this from side to side. Enjoy training with you. Good afternoon, Garen. Give me the thumbs up if you've got it. Side to side, we're just strengthening the wrists, getting the blood to flow, keep the body safe from injury during the workout. This is a home workout. This is bow staff at home. Simple self-defense weapon. You're going to go from one hand over to the other hand. It turns out from side to side. That's going to start to build more strength into the wrist, into the forearm. As you bring it to a stop and push it back the other way, we're going to go over some basic warm-up spins, and then we're going to get into some self-defense moves. Hello, Shannon. It's good to see you. Shannon's on her lunch break. She's back after 6 months. Welcome back. We missed you. Going side to side. Glad you can train with us. Then, put it in one hand, and I want you to do a figure eight, bringing it to one side of the body and the other side of the body. This is all to build strength in the hands, improve your endurance so that you can win the self-defense fight. This is a simple self-defense tool, simple self-defense weapon. Picking up a stick and just going side to side. This is also teaching you spatial awareness, proprioception, timing and distance. After you do it, you're just really carving that sideways figure eight from one side in, the other side out. Matthew, it's good to see you, Matthew. If you haven't done so already, please give me a thumbs up. Share this one when you can. Get this channel to grow again. Coming side to side, you guys have been an important part of making this channel what it is. I am forever grateful, greatly appreciative. Coming side to side, slow as smooth, smooth as fast, speed up when you want to. But again, make sure that that hand stays closed the whole time. Then I want you to go back to the first hand and reverse your spin. Again, these are not self-defense moves by themselves. These are moves that make you better at self-defense using your simple self-defense tool or simple self-defense weapon. This bow staff, this long martial arts staff. Garen says, is bow strictly 6 feet or does it vary with height? I'm going to say it depends on who you ask. If you ask a keyboard warrior who maybe read something from some manual that was translated by somebody else from the original Okinawan or Japanese, they might say it has to be 62 inches. I will say it depends on your height. Find one that's perfect for you. This is what I've been in martial arts since a young person. I've trained with many different masters, some Caucasian, many Asian, and those who are more enlightened will tell you we're all built differently. We're all made differently. And our bodies move in slightly different ways. And so the best thing to do is to adapt the moves to your body. There's still basic principles and standards that you must maintain. But if you're 5'5", you don't need a 6-foot staff. You need a staff that's 5'5" or maybe a little bit taller. If you are 6'5", you might want a little bit longer staff, and you can handle a little bit longer staff. So basically, the basic general rule of thumb of the long martial arts staff, or in this case a bow, Korean call it jangbong, the Chinese call it gun, or a cudgel maybe, is that it's about as tall as you are. And because I weigh a lot and I have squishy mats, I sink a little bit, so the bow is taller. When I stand out there on the concrete, the bow and I are the same height. I measured it today. So you're coming side to side now. as you continue these warm-up moves. Spinning staff to me is like jumping rope for a boxer. A boxer doesn't jump rope in the ring. Boxer is going to punch, bob and weave, stick and move, body blow. But when he's training, he's going to hit the bags. He's going to go onto a speed bag, or she's going to go onto a speed bag. And then when they get in the ring, they don't take any of that with them. They just take these, right? When you go into the ring, we just take these. Hello, Singe Man. It's good to see you. Please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't like what I'm saying today. If it doesn't work for you. Either way is okay. Just give me some feedback. Going side to side, pulling up and out. And the way that I'm doing this, we warmed up here, bringing pinky to pinkies, palms facing up. I turned it out. This was the warm-up move, the second warm-up move. Now when I twist in my figure eight from side to side, I'm doing that same hand transfer where the pinkies come together and the palms are facing up. And if I'm going forward, it's going to be behind the hand when I take it, behind the hand in a forward spin. If I go into a reverse spin, I'm going to take it in front of the hand. And you can always put this video, you mute me, and you put it on slow-mo, watch it back. And as I go in slow motion, you'll see more detail, and that might help you. That's how I learned a lot of things that I didn't know how to do through YouTube. I love YouTube because it seems to teach a lot of things that you can't find other places. Those of you my age and older will agree, years and years and years ago, you had to go to the library. You could learn a little bit at a time. Now, you can learn a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit, all at the same time. You learn a whole bunch of stuff, all online. It's made the world much, much smaller. How fast you can, how fast you can spin? Shannon asks, how fast can you do it? This is the reverse spin we just did. I can start to speed up. If I want more speed, I squeeze the belly tighter. As I squeeze the belly, that's going to stabilize the core. And then I want to start to add a whipping motion in my hip. The hip goes through to the shoulders. That starts to go quicker and quicker. And then it's going to depend a little bit. Good afternoon, Wilson. Good to see you. On the weight of your staff. So I was showing, they're all in the corner. Let's take a quick walk since we have time. And maybe it'll make more sense. Shannon, it was a great question about how fast can you do these spins. This is rattan. This is one of my training bows where I put tape. This is the orange side. This is the purple side. So you can see what it is I'm doing. I was training. Now you can see, because it's a much lighter staff, it's going to go a little bit quicker. My hands have to adjust to it for a second there. And then if I really want to get more speed, I want you to see my feet. I start to stepping forward or backward. The faster I move my feet, the faster that I can start to move the staff. Let me show you another staff. The first one is my Quantum Protector staff. This is my everyday self-defense staff. I love this one. Garen has 5 and 6 foot staves, awesome. This is self-defense staff. This is the one I fight with. I can't spin this as fast, but I'm not going to spin in self-defense. That one is very sturdy and strong. It's not as flexible as rattan. This is more of the Kung Fu style. You'll see this, or more like Silambam. Silambam is actually going to be faster and faster. A Silambam staff, an Indian staff, is going to be smaller in diameter and a little bit more flexible and extremely lightweight. You're going to get more speed. This is aluminum. This is to go to demonstrations and do fancy things with. And this one, you can hear it. It's going to go a little bit faster, but it's because it's a smaller diameter. So you can see this is about 1/2 inch, but it's a little heavy. This is actually about the same weight as the hickory staff, my self-protector staff, self-defense staff. And then I've got 2 more options. I haven't showed these in a while, but these are both demo staffs. Get them off the wall. I put them out here with the shillelaghs. We're in the lobby. This one is a 2-piece. That means you screw it apart. You can take it with you. Make sure I don't break it out here. You can't use this one for anything but demonstration though, because if you hit it against something, it's gonna break. This is just to do fancy stuff like that when you wanna go for speed. And it also has the toothpick design. This is called a toothpick bow, or toothpick staff. And then one more, I'll show you, I have a whole bunch. Yeah, the first link below, if you go to the first link below, that's my personal brand. I don't make it, but yeah, you hear that one. This one, you might also hear. The more motion you get, the faster you can go. And again, it's all about keeping this tight. This one was made for me by Buki Yushu. It's bukiyushu.net if you want to go see. This is a graphite staff. They also sell this. Now Century sells it. I can put a link up there. But when he made it for me, he put my name on it and he sent it to me as a gift, which is a very kind, thoughtful gift. But it's graphite. Extremely strong, but you can't fight with it. It's not for self-defense. I, as you might know, am very passionate about self-defense. I love the martial arts stuff. I love the pretty stuff, the fancy stuff. But I train with it, I teach it. I've had students go and win grand champion of weapons at competitions, at tournaments. And I can teach you how to do all the fancy stuff. But when it comes back to it, I want you to be able to stand behind your staff, get it in your hand and thrust. You smash, push through, and fight, and end the threat, right? Close with and destroy the enemy who's trying to hurt you for self-defense. So I like to do both. So I personally, this is my personal brand, the Quantum Self-Protector Staff, which is the first link below. But I also will sell and teach all those other stuff. I even have more. I have a double-bladed lightsaber in the corner, which is basically a fantasy weapon from Star Wars. Turn that on. I'll teach you how to use a sword in each hand, put it together, and use it like a staff. That's basically what it is. And then in the other corner, we didn't get into all the other staffs that are stacked up in the staff corner. I just showed you a small handful. There's a plastic one that lights up all the way, and it's hard plastic. You can hit that against. And then there are a bunch of foam ones with wood in the middle, designed to do combat bow and hit each other, and so that you can learn how to fight with a staff. It teaches spatial awareness, situational awareness, and timing and distance and all that. Combat bow is very fun, and usually you wear a little bit of padding on your hands, some gloves, and maybe something to protect your face. Definitely protect your eyes, your nose, your mouth, and your throat, because this, even from a practice staff or a sparring staff, a padded staff, that can still kill somebody. So you always have to protect the neck. So there's a little bit like this that comes down like a hockey player would wear or a fencer would wear. So it's fencing with a staff. But the moves are all the same. Spins, again, spins, all these different fancy spins and things that we can teach and we can go through and over the head and behind the back and all these cool motions and stopping. That's all good stuff to teach you timing, distance, spatial awareness, proprioception, and none of them are for self-defense. Self-defense is what we're gonna do right now, because this is home, this is bow staff at home, simple self-defense tools or simple self-defense weapon. You get behind it, it's in my front hand. I'm gonna show you front hand, back hand, and I'm gonna show you walking in the woods like you're Little John and Robin Hood and you've got a quarterstaff. By the way, the quarterstaff is a little bit different technique, but they're all pretty similar. Quarterstaff is the traditional, Darshan says, catch the replay, be well, you be well, thank you very much. You point your thumb, you're behind the staff. This is the whole point of this weapon, the simple self-defense tool. He has a knife, I have a length of hickory that he now has to get around to stick the knife in me. That's the basic principle. It's a distance weapon. It increases your reach. I want to keep him as far away as possible, and I can do that all the way here and still create massive amounts of force, and because I can slide my hand through, changing my hand position while I'm moving I can hit with fluidity until I drop it. But when you drop it, you just pick it back up. Ideally, in self-defense, you're not going to drop it. But you're not going to be moving. In self-defense, you're going to stand and you're going to hold, right? Hold, wait, strike. It's a game of fencing. It's fencing. It's not Darth Maul in Star Wars spinning with lightsabers chopping people up. So self-defense is all about getting a better position, put the staff between you and the threat when you can. If you pay attention to self-defense rule number 1, situational awareness, you saw the threat coming, now you get it in the other hand. You do that simply by point your thumb right at the threat. This is the threat. From here, before he gets a chance to hurt you, you know you have to defend yourself. Thrust, go for the middle of the body. Eyes, nose, mouth, throat, solar plexus, into the groin. Anything in the middle that you can hit. Now look at that. This interrupts his line of sight. This makes him respond. He's got to react to this big stick pointing toward his face. He's not going to hit my stick. He might try to grab it. If he does, I'm going to turn my hand. If he grabs the end of the staff, I'm going to turn. By turning up and over, and you should practice this motion, you'll get his hand off of it. But before he grabs your staff, this is a question that someone asked me this morning. You said, if I carry that weapon, he's just going to take it away from me and beat me with it. And I said, well, don't give it to him. Not like that. Don't just let him take it. Let him have it, right? Before he reaches out and grab it, let him have it. Right through the eyes, right through the belly, right through the nose, right through the throat for self-defense. So that's the first motion. If it's in the front hand, if it's in the back hand, because you're walking along a trail, you're doing your bow staff training at home, maybe your home is rustic, you're out in the woods, you're walking in the forest, a bear comes along or a bad guy, I don't know, you lift it up in the back hand. From here, just think about bringing this hand up to your ear. This is very important that you don't go like this. Now, if I go like this, see what that did? That put all of the weight of the staff and the force of my attack or my self-defense move onto my shoulder. My shoulder might not be as strong as it should be, especially when somebody's going to run into it. I'm going to run into somebody. That's going to put a lot of undue stress there. I don't want to put it in here. I want my body to hit him, so I'm going to keep it tight to my body. From here to here, I just lift it up. It's almost like a spear. If you've ever seen that show, The Walking Dead, Morgan from The Walking Dead, there's a scene in one of the shows, one of the episodes, where he's fighting with his bow staff. It's actually a Joe, but he's fighting with his staff using one hand, almost like he's got a spear and he's a Roman gladiator. But it is, that's what it is. It's basically fighting like a Roman gladiator. It's in your backhand, you bring it up, and now you thrust. From here, thrusting, and again, you're going for vital spots. What can you remove or destroy? This is self-defense. This is a self-defense weapon. Bow staff training at home. Do the spins, but then get it into the basics. Get into the self-defense moves. So from here, we go back to the front hand. I want to show you the second strike I want you to practice, which is bringing this hand to your shoulder and bringing it down into his temple, neck, hit a joint that's going to break, get into the arm, get into the wrist, the elbow, get into the knee if you have to. But from here, first is always a thrust, shoulder, strike. Then the third strike is this backhand coming forward with a punch straight into his nose. But what that does is that brings this sweeping across. Someone said last time like a shudo, I think it was Garen maybe. From here, sweeping across into his jaw, his temple, his shoulder, his neck. So I'm thrusting into the shoulder, down, across, back down, right on top of the head. Lights out, fight's over, you win for self-defense. Basic moves. Number 1, thrust, angle strike, horizontal strike, vertical strike. You can add an upward thrust, lift them up off the ground, knock them into the woods, whatever you have to. It's home training, right? It's a self-defense tool. Backhand. Now I'm going to modify that, but it's basically going to be the same moves that I want you to practice. Hello, Doug. It's good to see you, Doug. Doug, I just had a young man in the hallway, in the lobby. Doug sent me a bunch of beautiful shillelaghs, battle clubs, and cudgels, and this young man he's salivating. He's like, that's amazing. His Irish heritage. And he's looking at these Irish fighting sticks that Doug sent me as a gift. Thank you so much, Doug. From here, goes in thrusting, right? And again, remember, here but not here. If you bring it back here, too much stress here, bring it here, thrust, strike, backhand, and then down over top of the head, maybe up under the groin, and then thrusting from the backhand, or you can switch feet, thrust from the front hand, and then there's one more basic move I want you to learn for self-defense, and that is just two hands coming straight forward. Now what happens if he grabs your staff? Turn and drop it on his head. You smash him here, he grabs it, which he's going to, because you just busted him in his teeth. All of his teeth are hanging out of his mouth. For self-defense, you hit him here, he grabs it. Out of instinct, you turn, and you just drop that there, or you turn the other way, same thing. Either way works. It's turn and down, push, turn down, practice, push, turn down. And if you don't have a bag to practice with, then you don't have to. All right, good luck. You have to go back, clock back in. It was good to see you while you were here. Good luck with the rest of the work day. Thank you for spending your lunch with me. I appreciate that. You're gonna turn down. Practice it in the air if you don't have anything to strike against, but practice, that's the whole point. So back to these turning motions. With your hand, turning it like this is just gonna start to build some strength in there. And you asked me this too. This is the other question I got today, which is what happens if this hurts? Slow it down. Slow it down and don't go as much. If you have a very heavy staff, this oak staff, this is a self-defense staff. This is one that you would want to carry for self-defense. It's why it costs a little bit more, but it's nearly indestructible if you keep it oiled right and you practice with it. And it's gonna build a lot of muscle and strength, a lot of power in your grip. At first, it might be too heavy, so slow it down. And then over a period of time, it won't be that long before you know it, you'll go faster and faster. Then you start going hand to hand, side to side, and then you start into your figure eight motions. And then if you want, you can start to whip it behind your back, up over your head, in front of your body, changing directions, turning around, bringing it back around, one hand, changing, two hands, all the other things that you might already know how to do or you want to learn how to do. You can learn those on here on this channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so already because I do so many of these. I counted them up. There are 800 videos that I've made on the bow, and they cover everything from bow kata, because you ask me every once in a while, can you teach us a form? They're on here. You just have to Google my last name, bow, and the word kata, K-A-T-A. If you're watching, sometimes the video I'll say, grab your staff, do it with me. Sometimes just watch. Some of these you already know. Take a couple notes. That's a great question. Write down what I did first, second, third. Because I usually do it, there's a reason I do it. This gets the blood flowing, this keeps you safe from injury. Then you go hand to hand. And then bring it with you, slow it down. If you forget one, then look at it. Warming up does get a little rough at the beginning. But get your arms strong, get your hands strong. I've labeled some of these. If you want to look at some of the series that I've done, do home trainer, put my name, Bow Staff, and then do video 1, video 2. I've got a whole series. If you go to pasquinelli.com, and I'll repost it. pasquinelli.com, I put a bunch of videos in a series with some written curriculum. I'm going to put those on there. If you go to pasquinelli.com, that's my last name.com, there should be a link or link in the description below. Then you can find my personal website, and I will repost, I'll put it to the top, the Bow Staff curriculum, and I give belts. If you ever have an interest in that, just reach out. But if you want to learn a specific thing, what do you do first, second, third, then I'll teach you all that. It's going to be a mixture of styles. It's going to be a lot of different things that are going to give you a lot of skills, all leading into using the bow for self-protection. I want you to know how to use, if you do any martial arts, I want you to know how to use it for self-protection. You take the techniques of martial arts, you apply them with the principles of self-defense, and then you're like the perfect weapon. You're going to be able to do all that stuff with your bow. If you want the Quantum Protector, that's the first link below. Thank you again so much. Give me the thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe, consider joining. Thanks to all of you who've already joined. I'm going to try to do 2 more of these this weekend. I've been busy. I taught like 46 classes already this week. I've got 2 more, and then I'm done for today. But I want to spend more time with you, so I've been carving out more time. I have more planned for next week. They will be, no, they're not indexed for reference, Richard. But I will, some of them are. And so, Richard, I'm going to put them, you won't, good point. Doug said you won't need surgery. I'm going to put that link, I'm going to make a couple of posts on my website, pastorwinai.com. And that's a great way to keep in touch with me. And then I'll email out to you some videos in a series. I'll start mailing out a series. Do this video first, do this video second, third, fourth. And then I've written out the curriculum. And then you can use it as a checklist. Okay, I know how to do this. I know how to do this. I do this. And then if you do that over and over again, you become a master of the basics very quickly. Your skill level will go really high, really fast if you do just a little bit every day. You don't have to do a whole bunch. Don't make the mistake of trying to learn like 20 different things on 20 different days. Do the same thing every day for 10 days and then add to it, add to it, add to it. Before you know, you've got this wide, broad, deep foundation that you can build as high as you want. You guys have been awesome. I'll see you in just a little bit. Magnus, good to see you. Thanks, Matthew.